Hello, everyone. Today we are embarking on a journey into the hidden corners of the female mind. We are here to dismantle the confusion that keeps you awake at night. You see, society tells you that attraction is obvious. Movies tell you that if she likes you, she will smile, she will flirt, and she will make it easy. But biology tells us a completely different story. Real, deep attraction, the kind that shakes the soul, is terrifying. It triggers the same part of the brain that processes fear. Therefore, the signs that a woman is deeply into you are often not signs of welcoming, but signs of tension. Today, we are not looking for the obvious. We are looking for the strange, the paradoxical, and the subconscious behaviors that she cannot control. If you have ever felt a connection, but were confused by her coldness or her awkwardness, this session is for you. We are going to uncover the 7 strange signs she is into you, backed by evolutionary psychology. Let us begin with the most counterintuitive sign of all, a concept I call the paradox of active avoidance. To understand this, you must understand the "am I safe" mechanism in the female brain. When a woman feels a mild attraction to a man, someone she thinks is cute, she is calm. She can flirt because the stakes are low. If he rejects her, it doesn't matter. But when she is deeply attracted to you, you represent a high-value target. You represent a potential partner who could define her future. Suddenly, the stakes are sky high. Her cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes alongside her dopamine. She becomes overwhelmed. So what does she do? She avoids you. But this is not the avoidance of disinterest. Disinterest is invisible. You simply don't exist to her. Active avoidance is a performance. Imagine you walk into a room. Before you entered, she was laughing, talking loudly, and looking around. The moment you step in, her entire demeanor shifts. She immediately looks down at her phone. She turns her shoulder away from you. She stops laughing. To the untrained eye, this looks like she hates you. But psychologically, this is a defense mechanism. She's trying to regulate her nervous system. She's terrified that if she looks at you, she will reveal too much. She is afraid that her blush, her dilated pupils, or her nervous smile will give her away. So, she shuts down. If you notice that your presence sucks the energy out of her or makes her suddenly quiet and withdrawn, do not take this as rejection. Take this as a sign that you have a massive impact on her emotional state. You are the disruption in her environment. Now, let us move deeper into the physiology of attraction with the second strange sign, the cognitive glitch. We tend to think that attraction makes people smooth and seductive. In reality, deep attraction makes us stupid. This is based on the theory of cognitive load. A woman's brain is usually excellent at multitasking, managing conversation, social cues, and motor skills simultaneously. However, when she is around a man she deeply desires, her brain reallocates almost all its processing power to analyzing him. Is he looking at me? Does my hair look okay? What did he mean by that? Because her mental energy is focused entirely on you, other systems begin to fail. This manifests as the glitch. You will see a woman who is normally articulate and graceful suddenly become clumsy. She might trip over her own feet. She might drop her phone. More commonly, she will lose her verbal composure. She might start a sentence and forget where she was going with it. She might use the wrong word, stutter, or give a laugh that sounds unnatural. If you see a woman who is highly competent in her job or social life, suddenly acting scattered or weird, specifically when you are within 3 feet of her, you are witnessing a biological short circuit. She is not weird, she is overwhelmed. Her brain is crashing because the you program is taking up too much RAM. This clumsiness is one of the most honest signals of attraction because it is nearly impossible to fake. As we continue this analysis, we must look at how she utilizes space and emotion. Signs are not just about what she does. They are about where she is and how she feels what you feel. This brings us to the third strange sign, the subconscious orbit. This is based on the law of proximity and familiarity. Even if her conscious mind is telling her to play it cool, her subconscious mind wants to be near the source of dopamine, which is you. You will notice a pattern I call the shadowing effect. You are at a social gathering, a workspace, or a campus. You move to the refreshments table. 2 minutes later, She is there. You move to the balcony. Shortly after, she drifts to the balcony. She might not talk to you. She might be talking to her friends. But if you were to draw a map of the room, she is always within a 10-foot radius of you. She is orbiting you like a satellite. Why does she do this? Two reasons. First, she wants to be in your line of sight so that you have the opportunity to approach her. She's making herself available. Second, she wants to gather data. She wants to hear your voice and know who you are talking to. Pay close attention to her feet. We call this the torso-foot disconnect. She might be turning her head to talk to her friend, but her feet and her torso are pointed directly at you. This is an evolutionary giveaway. We point our vital organs toward what we value or desire. If her feet are pointing at you across the room, her subconscious is already walking toward you, even if she hasn't moved an inch. Now, let's navigate into the darker, more emotional waters of the fourth sign. This is something very few men notice, but it is the strongest indicator of deep emotional connection. This is the mirroring of negative emotions. You have likely heard of mirroring. She drinks when you drink. She leans back when you lean back. That is surface-level rapport. Deep attraction creates an empathy bridge. When a woman is into you deep down, she stops viewing you as a separate entity and starts viewing you as an extension of herself. This means your emotions infect her. If you are having a terrible day, if you are stressed, angry, or quiet, watch her reaction. A friend will say, "Hope you feel better," and go on with their day. A woman who loves you will internalize your stress. She will become quiet. She might look worried or even become irritable herself. She's not annoyed at you. She's feeling the weight of you. Her mirror neurons are firing so intensely that she cannot maintain a happy state when she knows you are in an unhappy one. If you notice that your mood swings dictate her mood swings, you have hooked her deeply. She's emotionally tethered to you. This is a heavy sign, often mistaken for moodiness, but it is actually a sign of profound empathy and attachment. This leads us to the fifth sign, which often causes men to give up too early: the friction of fitness testing. We assume that if she likes us, she will be nice. But in the wild, the female of the species must ensure that the male is strong, capable, and emotionally stable. She does not do this by being nice. She does this by applying pressure. This is the strange sign of bratty behavior or playful hostility. She might tease you about your shirt. She might disagree with your opinion just for the sake of arguing. She might make a sarcastic comment to see if you get offended. This is a test. She's poking the bear. She wants to know, are you insecure? Will you get angry? Or can you handle her sass with a smirk and confidence? If a woman is indifferent to you, she will be polite and boring. She won't waste energy challenging you. But if she is constantly giving you a hard time in a playful way, she is fighting for your attention and testing your strength. She wants you to pass the test. She wants you to bantering back. This friction is not rejection. It is the spark that starts the fire. She's trying to see if you are strong enough to handle her deeper emotions later on. We have analyzed the avoidance, the clumsiness, the physical orbit, the emotional mirroring, and the testing. Now we descend into the final, most primal layers of the interaction. These are the signals that she is likely not even aware she is sending. The sixth strange sign is the exposure of vulnerable anatomy. This goes back to our days as hunters and gatherers. When humans feel threatened or guarded, we protect our jugular vein, the neck, and our wrists, the radial artery. We cross our arms, we hunch our shoulders, we wear high collars. However, when a woman is in the presence of a man she trusts and desires, her body signals submission and invitation. Watch her hands and her head. The most classic sign is the hair sweep. She will lift her hand and sweep her hair to the side, exposing the full length of her neck. This is a massive biological green light. It exposes her pheromones and her vulnerable zone to you. It is an unconscious act of saying, "I am safe with you." Furthermore, look at her wrists. When she talks, does she talk with her palms facing up and her inner wrists exposed? This is known as open body language. It signals that she is hiding nothing. If she is constantly fidgeting with a necklace, drawing attention to her neck, or playing with an earring, she is pining. She is instinctively trying to draw your eye to her most feminine and vulnerable features. She is presenting herself to you. Finally, we arrive at the seventh, and perhaps the most definitive sign of deep intent, the use of the future tense and the collective pronoun. This is where psychology meets linguistics. Listen to the words she chooses. A woman who sees you as a temporary fling or a casual acquaintance speaks in the now. She talks about what is happening today. But a woman who is into you deep down has already begun to run simulations of the future in her head. She cannot help it. She will casually drop you into future scenarios. She might say, "We should check that place out." Or, "You would love this movie coming out next month." Notice the word we. This is the collective pronoun. She is no longer thinking as me and you, she's thinking as us. Even if she is just joking, the fact that her brain is projecting a timeline where you exist 2 weeks or 2 months from now is significant. She's testing your reaction. She throws out a future plan to see if you flinch. If you agree, you validate her simulation. If she sends you a link to an event happening in the distant future, she is securing your time. She is investing in your shared existence. Gentlemen, we have covered a lot of ground today. We have moved past the superficial smiles and looked into the engine room of female attraction. We discussed the paradox of avoidance, how her fear masks her desire. We talked about the glitch in competence where her brain short-circuits because of you. We analyzed the orbit, the mirroring of pain, and the friction of testing. And finally, we looked at the exposure of vulnerability and the future tense. These signs are strange. They are confusing. They are often the opposite of what we are taught to expect, but they are the truth. The world is full of missed connections. People who walked away because they thought she ignored me when actually she was terrified because she liked me. Do not be that man. Do not let the love of your life slip away. Because you couldn't read the code. Your task now is to observe. Don't overanalyze every blink, but look for the clusters. Look for the patterns we discussed. And when you see them, have the courage to step forward to break the tension and to lead the interaction. If this deep dive into psychology has opened your eyes, if you want to understand the dynamics of human behavior, status, and attraction on a mastery level, then you know what to do. Click that subscribe button, join our community. We don't just scratch the surface here, we dig until we find the gold. Thank you for giving me your time and your attention. Use this knowledge wisely. Good luck and goodbye.